there we go.
I love it.
Huda
nice drop.
Beauties. That is a nice drop.
Nice drop. Dun, dun, dun,
Hey,
dun.
AfterBuzzers. Welcome to the Huda Boss After Show here at AfterBuzz TV.
Yay.
We are thrilled to be here tonight after missing last week, but we're chatting episodes 11 through 14 with you all. I can't do this by myself, of course. Not like Alicona did at the last, I think she was talking about, yes.
Shout out to Alicona.
Yeah, shout out to Alicona. She handled episodes 9 and 10 on her own last time. So she did an amazing job, and she's missed today, but hopefully she'll be able to join us soon. But I am joined by the lovely Louisa Sharamatian.
Hey, y'all. So happy to be here.
Yes, thank you for that. And right next to her we have Crystal McLaughlin.
Hey, y'all.
These two queens. Louisa will be chatting with us about the special segment later on, and as well Crystal chiming in with that as well.
That's right.
We are super delighted, like I said, to be here. We're covering 4 episodes, a lot of content, so many things that happen. But I'm glad that we're able to cover it all together because there's a lot of little tidbits sprinkled, I think, throughout all 4 episodes that we can just all come together and talk about it. So I think I just want to ask you, ladies, overall thoughts on... Oh my gosh, and before I forget, my name is Maite Carrillo. I always forget to introduce myself. My name is Maite Carrillo. I'm super happy to be here and such a big fan of reality TV. So these episodes gave a lot of drama. Overall thoughts on all 4 episodes. What did you guys think?
You know, I love seeing, I love seeing these ladies, flourish and like helping other ladies flourish. But I feel like they're really trying really hard to find content to talk about on their show, and I don't know how long that's gonna last. It's the same storyline every time we watch it. So, lightly disappointed. I am kind of excited about the new launch, which I won't bring up, but this new idea of like bringing someone else some sort of support system to launch whatever ideas I have. Other than that, I feel like every episode I watch is like the same stuff. Even sometimes the tutorials, but overall, I love seeing women win, so I'm not going to complain too much.
I feel like it's moving just a bit slow.
Right.
I just want more action, more truth about what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe they're not exposing too much, and that's why we feel like maybe it's so much of the same thing. Yeah. Like, we know Huda's having issues managing the finances and not spending too much because end of the day, it's a business. They need to make money.
Right. Yeah.
And with Dom and Mona, I feel like they just have to decide right now what they're doing. Are they moving forward with the Islamic marriage? Are they really on board? And I know it's pressure on her because her mom, we found out, is very, very into, Middle Eastern traditions. Right. And we feel for her, but I just want more movement, and I also want some light shed on Chris too sometimes. I feel like it's a lot of heaviness on the girls, which is great, but I want, like, he's the only man, and it's the dad, and it's Karan, so I want to see their point of views added in.
What I will say that I do appreciate is that they're teaching me a lot about the Islamic culture and Middle Eastern culture in general, and like the things that they do that I was never aware of, right? So that's kind of cool because I feel like we have this idea, based off of like bad things that have happened in the past, what Middle Eastern culture is. And I think this is a perfect platform for people to really understand like where they come from, what their values are, and who they are as the people.
Yeah, and they make it very relatable. Oh, sorry to cut you off, but they make it very relatable. Yeah. Me being Armenian, a lot of the taboo subjects that you can't talk about, you can't live together unless you're actually engaged or married. And, we were just talking to Mina, who is also Muslim, and she has a lot of issues kind of dating back and forth and trying to be a modern woman.
She's
in
a host, by the way, guys.
Yeah, we love you, Mina. Follow Mina. Yeah. She is obviously in USA trying to live the modern life, but she's always in the middle of who do I serve. I have that culture and this upbringing, So I love it. They just put it out there, and the dad is super cute.
Yeah,
and she's trying to be strict, but it's so cute.
I think it's so cute because his dad was incorporated a lot more, I think, in the last 2 episodes, and it was great to kind of see him mesh in and them be so authentically themselves in their relationship with him. And the questions that kept on coming up for Dom, and I do agree with you guys that it's just, I feel like they are squeezing 2 topics here, and one of them is the marriage, the other one is what's happening with the business, and it is getting really draining to watch because it's like, I think I wrote somewhere here, like, okay, the mini nude palette, tight schedule and cost again, like, is this how it always
redundant?
It's exactly, like, you have so many. Anyways, we're gonna get into that, but let's start off talking about Huda's Beauty Angels, which I think is a great. I think it's something great that Huda, her family, the entire clan is doing, and they're in their early stages. What they're basically doing is they're investing a certain amount of money into people who have an idea of an upcoming business, or they have a product concept that really hasn't taken off because they don't have investors. So we get to see Iman, which is actually one of Huda's employees. She works at Huda Beauty, and she comes in and gives a business pitch. What did we think about this business pitch that she did in front of pretty much the entire team? Because I think when she came in and she pitched the idea to both Huda and Mona, it kind of looked like she was really nervous. And I have to give her props because it's something very intimidating. But then she kind of leveled up a little bit more and was more prepared, I think, for the second one. What do we think about her pitch?
I am so for those products. Anything that's gonna, help your vagina be better and cleaner and lighter and moist all the time.
Get that vajayjay, girl.
And I just love how uncomfortable they were in the room. And then, like, we saw how uncomfortable Alia is, which
I think Alia was the only one that was uncomfortable.
You know why? Because she's the firstborn and she's the most oldest, and she's like, you know what? I've grown up with a mom that says tradition, like, you get pregnant if a guy's next to you. I don't feel comfortable talking about sex and vaginas right now. And I love how Mona is like that young kind of millennial kind of, not that she's that much older than Huda, but she's like, I'm for that, feminine hygiene. I do that. I mean, I do it. We have Summer's Eve here in LA. We have Summer's Eve and we have Vagisil, I think, as far as beauty products. I would love to see a luxurious line for your feminine care.
Yeah, maybe go to Nordstrom's or Saks or something.
No, they don't have it. I think Iman is the girl to do it, and she also gave us an insight that, God forbid, she had cervical cancer.
Right.
Which, I love your makeup, by the way. I just saw it in the light.
I didn't have work today, you guys. This is what I look like when I have time to do my makeup. Okay.
You know what? I am off topic, but actually it's in our show, so it's like it's makeup anyway.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Anyway, so she had cervical cancer, and I think this is her personal kind of purpose in life that she wants to educate us on, how to prevent it or just make that part of your body so fresh all the time.
So you like the product. You like the hold on.
Yeah.
The idea of
that.
Presentation, maybe not so much.
Right. Yeah. But I loved also her saying, bringing up the whole that she had cervical cancer. I thought that was really
so relatable.
Dude, here's the thing about that.
Dude.
The fact that she took something that was so negative and turned it into a positive thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, going back to like the positive manifestation stuff that I always talk about, that this team is always, and in fact, let me just, a little side note, okay? I'm always on Instagram following people who are like super positive, and I didn't say the word.
Yeah.
Every time I add somebody, Mona is already on that. On that Instagram, like following them. And I'm like, this is so cool. It's almost like a treasure hunt for me. And so I just want to put that out there again. I think they're going in a direction that's really cool. My only thing is, like, I'm not going to lie, I get a little nervous when they talk about this stuff. And the only reason why, it's not because, we can't talk about this stuff. It's like, in that country, is that like a bad thing? Will they be in trouble for something like that? That's my whole thing, because they seem like they're so strict about so many things. I wonder, like, if anything could happen to them, could their safety be at risk because they're maybe going and they're pushing for something, for change. I mean, we have come so far as a country here, and still we have so many things that we need to do, but they're just kind of starting. And so that was the thing that I thought of when she talked about this, was like, is this taboo? Is this okay? Are they going to be safe? I mean, think about that.
No, I get you, especially in Dubai, when actually they say that a couple can't even walk together and hold hands. And it's like, will they be blacklisted now? Or like,
and I wonder about all this stuff. I think it's great. I think it's beautiful. Thankfully, you know, like, Mona is gonna get married, but like Huda's married, so that's great. But I don't know, you know, if I'm so sorry, Iman, right? Iman. If she's married and like how that plays out, you know, I worry about their safety. To be honest,
she's Muslim. I think she mentioned
that she's Muslim. I did not know she was Muslim.
Yeah, so you're right. I really never thought about it being a risk. I was more like, this is amazing. I think it's because we live in like our worlds are completely different, right? And our upbringing and where we live, we're so open to kind of here in the United States, we're so open to different things. But there is tradition. There are those traditional values. There are certain people that have to respect that.
Right.
So it should be interesting. And I'm hoping that maybe if that is the case, that like Huda would be like, okay, I could do this, but you're going to have to do this somewhere else to start.
Yeah. Who knows? I will say on a positive note, I love the idea.
Yeah.
My only other thing that I had in my mind, right, because, you know, talking about feminine products and having used, you know, feminine products, pH balance and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I wonder like what ingredients they're going to use and like if they're really going to be like, you know, all natural and organic, because at the end of the day, like that spray she used for the face wasn't exactly the best, you know, ingredients. You know, Huda Boss's
Well, I think this is
spray.
where Iman comes in, because this is her baby, and so if she wants it, she literally has to work for it. She has a door opening for her, so she really, like she says, I'm going to work day and night, and I'm going to do this. I was actually curious because she talked about the wipes, and I'm like, okay, so like, but what else do you have? You know, I was like, I want to know more. Like, I want to like start. You know, I hope that now it's kind of launching, and I'm like, I'm curious, which is a good thing. It's a really
funny how the guys are kind of uncomfortable in a cute way, and then Chris is like, so, you know, you're done. Do you want to wipe yourself?
And what I loved is that she turned her, you know, like she said, her friend had this moment where she went on a date and then the wipe fell out and like it said whatever it was, and so like making it kind of cool and like not having a label on it, I thought was really cool. Being somebody who uses, baby wipes, I'm like a big fan for this. I'm like, okay, cool, because most of the time baby wipes have so many chemicals in it, and I'm always on the search for like something that doesn't have a ton. So I'm like, I'm super curious about how this is going to turn out.
Girl,
I'm ready. Go,
even
girl.
when you go and get your waxing, there is baby wipes. There's like other things that are not meant for your area as a woman and for a certain age. Like your body goes through all these changes.
I just laser.
Or that, you know, whichever way. Or like to clean it. You know, it's a topic that every woman goes through, and it's different for everyone, which is the beauty of it. And I think that's the beauty of our products. Let's shift gears and start talking about Huda for a bit. And she has a launch for her Resting Boss face.
Right.
I feel like this is kind of like a relaunch, right?
Right.
What did
I'm confused about that.
So from what I understand is that Resting Boss face spray would only work on waterproof makeup because it's waterproof itself.
But that's what the label said.
Yeah, so it wasn't working on makeup that's not waterproof. So they had to do a lot of like retesting and everything.
Because they tested it on Huda's products, which are waterproof.
But then, what if I don't use Huda products and I'm just buying an after spray? Would it work?
Are all her products waterproof?
I believe so. Don't quote me, but I think so. So the whole point was, if we're going to sell this, what if our consumer doesn't? You know,
I wanted that girl to jump in a pool.
Right.
And swim across.
Right. You need to do some real trial and error stuff. I will say, you know, and I'm not trying to like say that her product doesn't work. I've never used it. You know, I can't endorse it. But I will say that I've used Krylon products for a very long time. It's a very professional makeup brand. And I use that on all my brides. Their makeup doesn't budge. I don't use it that often when I do use it because, you know, I don't like to add that extra like heavy layer on. And it does smell like hairspray, and it's probably not the best thing for you, you know, to be honest. But I will say it works. And I don't use Kryolan products all the time underneath it. So my question is, why don't you have something that's universal? Is it because you are trying to get people to buy just your products so that you can use them?
Of course.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good business move. I'll give her that.
She's very smart when it comes to making business moves.
And also, I like the way how they delivered it to all the influencers. They actually had a drag queen take it to their doorstep. And then I like how the show featured each one's social media handle, which was also a nice little touch.
Right.
So
That was really
she's smart on that end. She spends a lot of money on that.
Yeah, which reminded me too, going back to this whole talk about investment, I'm like, she's looking for a way of where to invest her money, which she should be doing.
Right.
Which every business person or any person should be doing when you get a good chunk of money, like invest it wherever you can.
Right.
So then we switch gears and we talk about the mini nude palette, which we only saw a little very small tad bit of it, but they're on a tight schedule again, and the cost, and like I was mentioning earlier, I feel like this is just so repetitive. Like, when are things going to start going right? Do things ever go right in this?
I don't know.
We have so many people. What do you ladies think?
What I will say is I thought that was a great idea for her to, because like here's the biggest thing that I used to hear, working for a cosmetic company, was that, how can I use these colors? How do I know they're right for me? And it's like, there's like I would always try to sell red, right? And people would be like, well, how do I know which red is right for me? And I'm like, well, this one you should use this for this skin tone, so on and so forth. And like, most people are not makeup artists, so they don't want to have to deal with that, right? That's why they come to us. What I love about this palette that she has going on is that she's got something that is specific for certain types of skin tones. And so it just takes the, like, trying to figure it out of the way. And I love that, because at the end of the day, we are not all the same, and we should have something that fits everybody. We are a buffet,
right? We
are. You always say of colors, right, throughout the world. And so I think that's a beautiful thing that she's doing. I've never seen anybody do that.
I've seen the mini palette, and I've heard they have it at Sephora. It's Tarte, and they have a small little palette, and I think it was just like $14. And I was at the checkout, and I'm like, I could easily carry this in my bag. So I got it, and it lasted me for a very long time.
Really?
But it was always like little touch-ups or stuff, if I'd go out, and it was so small that I just
we're always on the go, right?
Always on the go. And it's the only mini palette that I think I've seen that, and it has 6 different shades, and they were all very, very different. But I ended up using all of them.
So let me ask you this, because this is what I always think about when I think of a palette. If you're on the go, you're not trying to use a brush. Like, I want to see a palette that you can use all your fingers for. And something that you can just smudge on, and it's easy. And it's lipstick, lip gloss, eyeshadow, highlighter, blush.
That's so smart.
Hello, Huda. I'm helping you.
Can I
get a cut? Can I get a cut?
Invest in the Beauty Angels thing. You should have pitched that. Imagine having a palette with lip gloss.
Everything. You use your fingers.
Shadow.
I use my fingers for everything.
I do
so
too.
for me, I'm like,
Okay, she uses her fingers for everything. Now we're knowing more.
Oh my god.
Louisa, what did you think about this?
You always talk
No. Let's not dig any deeper than we need to.
You guys had to that.
Pun intended. Pun intended.
When Huda had said something like that, market of feminine care is so underpenetrated,
right,
and that was so
that
funny. And like the producers started to laugh, like spot on.
Louisa, what do you think about Nabila, the Indian influencer. Nabila's. What do you think about her collab with Huda?
Hey, honestly, it was great because that influencer has gotten so much hate for being really overweight. And she said how trying to I lost
self-love. No, sorry. What are you still laughing about the JJ? Okay.
Sorry.
I lost my train of thought.
Sometimes I act like I'm 10. Okay, sorry.
So Nabila is a overweight,
She's a
beautiful,
self-love.
curvy. I don't want to say overweight. That's a bad word. Curvy, beautiful, natural influencer who has gotten so much hate for being on air and as an influencer.
And Muslim.
And people have said, you being on YouTube or you having Instagram just shows you're promoting obesity and stuff, which is so hard. And what touched me was that she had this YouTube video where she wrote down the bad words that like the media has told about her, and then she like, I blended it all the way with the blending sponge, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got goosebumps.
So did I.
Yeah, that was so powerful. And then Huda, started to be, I'm very emotional and started to cry and all that. But that's what I like about Huda. She puts a shine and light on a lot of people that just have this strong voice that we need today to be yourself in this hard world. And also, I love the idea how the husbands did the makeup and how the lash ended up on the eyelid, and how cute was Nabila's husband.
Wow.
Dude, don't you ever talk about being insecure,
I was looking like, oh, that's her husband.
I mean, damn.
He's cute.
He was beautiful.
If I could have zoomed in, I would have.
I mean, man.
I think it was a great touch in the fact that she keeps on, as we've mentioned before, she keeps on incorporating all of these different people, influencers, people that she wants to work with, and people who have a story to share, which is amazing.
That was
and she
great.
inserts
Good
herself
job.
there. Yep. And one thing that we do appreciate here is all of you who watch us on a weekly basis, whether it's this show or any other show. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you are watching us on YouTube, please leave us a comment. Tell us your thoughts about today's episodes. We're talking all 4 episodes today. Let us know any questions that you have for us. We do have makeup artists on this panel, so if you have any questions that you'd like to ask them, please feel free to do so. If you are watching, as I said, if you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up as well. If you're hearing us on iTunes, please give us 5 stars. Let us know your thoughts, and we will shout you out here next week, as we typically always do. So we love you guys so much for tuning in, and we appreciate you all letting us be the ESPN of TV.
Yes, girl. Thank you, Maite.
Let's jump into the nitty gritty and this Mona and Dom.
Oh my gosh.
Dun, 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 dun.
You guys.
Right.
Like, okay, one episode they're talking about it.
Yeah.
Second episode, another talking. Then finally we get a date, right?
Yeah, and I feel like Dom must really love her.
Oh, yeah.
And that
That's
family.
all I keep thinking.
Because you are really going deep, and you're so patient. I feel like he's more zen and patient than Mona. And Mona wants everything fast, and I love how the dad's like, why are you like rushing? Like, what do you have to rush about? Which makes me think like, damn, she's very well behaved.
What did you guys think about when Mona had the talk with her dad, and her dad said, oh, no, you can't live under one roof even after you have your Islamic marriage. You need to get married and have it with all your friends. And that's when you can actually live under one roof and, be
once
a couple.
you get married, then you can.
Right. She had no idea.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So they have to have like an Islamic wedding and then have a party, and then that's
have a separate wedding on top of that, like an actual ceremony. And so I was a little confused about that. I know there was an Islamic small intimate wedding with just family. Nobody's there besides family, and then you have an actual ceremony. With
friends and everyone.
With friends and everybody, and it's a big old ordeal. I think she should be surprised that her mom is requesting this, and that her dad is like pushing her to do as her mom pleases, right? I mean,
it's hard.
It is hard. What I loved is that Dom and her were having this conversation with a friend at dinner, right? A couple.
Right.
And she's like, well, I don't know why my mom wants me. And he chimes in right away, and he's like, it's super important for your mom, and that's why we're doing it.
I love that.
And I was like, oh, you sexy.
I was like, she found this on Tinder?
Right.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is a man who loves her, who respects her family,
Cute.
And so going back to how Huda always talks about, like, why are they in the rush? Well, you know what? Actions speak louder than words. And so she has nothing to worry about. This man has been showing up from the beginning and doing everything that has been asked of him and going beyond that. So when I saw that moment, you go on Tinder.
Yeah. Or Bumble or Hinge.
Right. When you find that, you run. okay? And it's not like she's like 20 years old. She's a grown woman, and she knows what she wants, and he's abiding by all these rules. I mean, it's incredible. This man is an angel, you guys.
We love him here for sure.
And
what do you think?
He spent a lot of time with the family when they were in LA, so he said, this is important for your dad. And the mom made it very clear that the most you can do is go to a restaurant, which was so like cute and funny at the same time, but it's like that's how real she's taking all this. Like, no, you have to have an Islamic marriage, you know?
Right.
And I love how Mona is trying to please both. It's hard because I've been there, and a lot of Middle Eastern, you know, folks have as well, like my generation.
Right.
And maybe not even Middle Eastern, a lot of people who have to just respect what their parents' values are.
Yeah.
It's so hard trying to please both and living your truth. And it's like she's doing this, and now it's all on TV, and like, you know, it's hard.
Yeah, I think it was really a special moment too when Huda kind of chimed in, and she wasn't aggressive and she wasn't asking questions. She's more like, I want you to feel accepted with this family. And he said it himself, I've never had that before. So for me to feel accepted, I think that means so much to him, and I don't think he ever realized how much it would mean, and I think that's why he's going the extra step. Right.
It's really official.
And the mom loves her. They FaceTime the mom.
Yeah.
The mom's ready to come to Dubai and
Exactly.
experience that, you know, caviar.
Oh my God. What I will say I love, especially too, being that we're here in this time of age, and we're also in LA, like whatever happened to, you know, chivalry and like courting women, and like it's just,
get over it.
you know, it's just one of those things where like you see this and you feel like there's so much romance and there's so much love, and it's almost like you wish like things were back this way,
right?
You know, in a sense, because you're not in it for the wrong reasons, you know. And I feel like so many men are in it for the wrong reasons, so many women are in it for the wrong reasons. Let's go back to the old ways. We're going to Dubai, bitches.
Yeah, no, really.
Like, donut. Let's go.
Men don't know how to ask out women anymore. I was telling Maite, it's ridiculous.
It's just, it's so different, but it makes you see this and you're like, I want that.
Yeah,
I want to feel that with someone.
Right.
Then you look to your right and you're like, I don't get it with this guy, but it just makes you, I don't know, it gives you that hope. That hope.
Dubai Tinder, here we come.
Huda, send us a plane, girl.
No.
Send us a private plane.
Send us some merchant too.
Right.
We want that eyeliner out here. So we have a date for the wedding. That should be really exciting. I can't wait to see what she wears. I can't wait to see her dress. It was kind of surprising to see as well that she didn't take both of her sisters to go shop
when she was back in LA.
No,
that's good.
When she had set the date, it was like, I think it was episode 4. It was episode 14.
Right.
She had set the date, and then they go inside Mona's room, and Mona's like, "Yeah, I actually already got the wedding dress."
They were upset.
It was like within the day.
Yeah,
after.
Huda was upset.
Huda, she took out her wedding dress and all that.
Well, you don't think you should take your sisters?
Here's the thing. They're so harsh with her all the time, and they're always nitpicking. I think she just wanted something for herself. Like, this is the one thing you guys don't get to have a say-so in. And everything else you can have a say-so, but not this.
I think she took her mom, right?
Did she take her mom?
Do you think? I don't know.
I don't know. I just feel like this was something that was probably sacred for her, and she wanted to just enjoy it. You know, you can't help it. But to be like judgmental with family sometimes, and like have your say so on things, and I mean, let's just be honest, like their family's very opinionated, right? So, you know, I think this is good. I think this is something for her, and she's setting a boundary of sorts, and you know, they're involved in the other part, you know, so it's fine.
Yeah,
and she also tried on Huda's dress.
It was so
which
cute.
Was like funny, but I think it was big on her.
It was
I see
really
Mona
cute.
on something else. I see Mona on this white lace.
Oh, very pretty.
Yeah,
I felt like I want to say I felt like Huda did that to like shade.
Oh
I felt
my
like she
gosh!
did. Yes, I'm sorry,
girl.
Because the dress didn't even zip up, like it didn't even fit her. So what was the point of that? Like you were teeny tiny then, and you know that Mona is like she's teeny tiny, but not that teeny tiny.
God, I hope it wasn't.
I hope it wasn't like a control thing. Yeah. I don't know. I always sense this like control thing with Huda.
Well, with that said, let us jump into our special segment, right?
You guys.
Louisa, you do want to take that away?
Yeah. So,
I like that.
Part of why I love this show is because Huda shares so much great tips about makeup and you know, contour and everything. I'm going to share 4. And to start off, one is the body contour, which was so awesome. And I didn't really do body contour so much, but I know Crystal does.
Yes,
so
you guys.
Give us all the info on that.
I swear by
show
this.
us.
Okay, I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, it looks like you have double D.
But
Damn, girl, shit.
Honestly, honestly, I don't have a big cup size, but I will say that every time I want to look like I have a big cup size, I always contour. And the first thing I do is I contour here, and then I with the darker color. Usually the thing that I use to contour my cheekbones, and then I put a little bit of a lighter color here, and it's usually the highlighter that I use on the upper part of my cheekbones, and then I hit also the collarbone and my shoulders. And I'm not kidding you guys. Oh, and right here in the middle. I'm not kidding you guys. It makes all the difference in the world. Your skin will look luxurious. And another thing I do, which she didn't say she did, I always use some sort of oil too. So I'll use like an oil. Today I didn't do it because sometimes it'll stick to my hair. But if you really want to go all out, like put a little bit of oil and then you do that, wow, you will shine like Beyonce. Beyonce does this. Yeah. I love it.
Oh, thanks for that.
Absolutely.
Because I know even Huda has body contour oil too.
I didn't know that.
I tried a sample of it from Sephora. They have 3 different shades.
Oh,
yeah, that's what she always has on her arms.
It makes all the difference in the world.
That's what I need. I want to use it on my legs.
It's like
do it on your legs
she actually said she got the motivation from Beyonce when she wears pantyhose during her concerts and her legs look shiny.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly how their product is.
Wow.
You can get a sample from Sephora.
I'm gonna go get a sample,
or
maybe I'll get sent a sample.
Yeah, there you go. Right? But and so the second tip was Tantour, which is mixing of the bronzer and contour. And again, Crystal's a fan of that as well.
Yeah, I've always done this usually during summertime a little bit more, but I will say I probably do it more often. Actually, I do it every day now that I think about it. But I think that I'll do it with like a darker color, a more bronzy color. The contour that I normally use is like a MAC very matte contouring darker color. I forget what it's called. Harmony, I think it is. And then what I'll do is I'll use Yves Saint Laurent. They don't. They sold out of this one bronzer. I swear it was so good. Anyways, so you put it in the same places that you normally would put your contour, and it kind of like blends everything together and makes you look nice and bronzy, but at the same time not like too overly contoured. It blends everything together.
That is amazing. Thank you for that. And the two that I personally do is the lip contour that she does. You start off with that little cupid bow, which I actually do, and I draw it outside of my lip line, and then you put the nude color in the middle like this, and you just like get a gloss and you just spread it with your finger. It puts like the focus there. I always do that. Today it's bold pink, you can't really tell. And then contouring your nose, because if you don't and you do your face, your nose looks super flat. So
I never knew she started it from up here. I always started from right here.
Start from the brow tip all the way to the corner of your brow, all the way to your nose tip, and then get your brush there and put it in the middle, and then put a little like translucent on the side, and boom, there you go. You got a snatch nose.
And remember, she says she puts if you want your nose to look lighter or shorter, you put it on the tip of your nose too, the white part.
It's just crazy. It's amazing.
White powder,
tips, right?
sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, that covers our special segment.
Wow, thank you, Louisa and Crystal, for that. We always learn something new, right, by watching these episodes. We appreciate you guys tuning in. That is all for our show today. Louisa, do you want to let everybody know where they can find you?
Follow me on Instagram at Louisa Sharamatian and on Twitter at Lou Sharamatian.
Hi everybody, I'm Crystal McLaughlin. You can follow me on all social media at Crystal823, Crystal with an I, not with a Y. I can't wait till next week's episode. We'll be here at the same time next week, Wednesday, hopefully. And you can follow us on our Instagrams and find out. Ask, DM us.
Hey everyone, my name is Maitha Creo. You can find me everywhere at This Is Maitha. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you here next week. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.